evening all, welcome back to some more tactics. Yes, that was an actual conversation that the judge and I had. We need to be sort of self-checking ourselves here, and this match is a great example because this, oh my god, look at that, twin plasma cannons, nice. This match was epic. That's all I can say, is epic, incredible match, and I think you'll find that it's rather a fun one. So enjoy. In terms of this match being quite an interesting one in terms of the topic at hand, I think this was quite a cool one because we have the disadvantage in every sense. We're not generally kind of running prototype suits like they are, you know. We're not running the rail rifles and the combat rifles, etc. So we're running kind of comedy fits, plasma cannons, shotguns, things like that. And we're kind of on the lower ground as well, and we've got that ledge right above us. To be honest, everything was kind of against us. This map is terrible. Manus Peak has got to go, seriously. And you'll see why, because to be honest, this is one of them matches that I guess just really, pressurizes you into trying to win. Anyway, let's talk about this. The reality is that this game is very frustrating at times, and I think this was one. So we're getting really punished here, and it's not going too well. So what we do is we decide to kind of attack their advantageous position, which was this ledge. So you see here we've actually run right at them with the knowledge that, you know, we're probably going to die doing this, but again, we've got to do it. We've got to put fire upon them to push them off this ledge, because they're all kind of running heavy suits with rail rifles, scrambler rifles, combat rifles, etc., and it's getting annoying. It really is. I hate that tactic to begin with. And to be honest, we're kind of, I think we're just in that kind of ballpark, to be honest, where we just desperately want to have a good game. So, you know, to be honest, that's our kind of raison d'etre. So we do, you know, we don't want to be tryhards, we really don't. But there are times when we think to ourselves, ooh, that was a bit of an easy win. You know, are we the tryhards now? Discuss. But anyway, let's talk about the game. And to be honest, this one is this was frantic, and it was just, I mean, editing it is even difficult as well because so much is happening here. And look at that bastard with a galactic suit, you bastard. It's just frustrating as hell as well. Domination does make some of the best battles, though. I do stand by that. I think ambush is fine. But you don't get the focus that you get in domination in ambush. I really do believe that, as I get bloody shotgun typical. This has got to be one of the more kind of frustrating points. Look at that. Look at that wall of rate of fire guns being fired at me. Very annoying. But as you can see, we're kind of sneaking around them. As you can see, Stefan's up there at the back of them as well, shotgunning them and cloaking. So he's doing a really good job with that, and I think this was where I just think the superior tactics of what we did made a lot of sense. They're very good in terms of the ability to keep us off the point, but again, just constantly harassing them on that ledge is incredibly important, I think. Yeah, and this kind of comes back to what we were saying in the last video about the formulas of this game. Each map has a formula now, and the formula could be quite honestly as simple, for example, as I said in Ashlands, of getting a dropship, getting up to that high point, dropping spawn pads, and just rinse, repeat, and you know, if somebody destroys them, go back and do it again. And it's annoying as hell, but it's kind of a surefire way to always guarantee that you're able to have a very, very strong position as you jump down. The same with Skim Junction, I think. It's just the same. It's very, very frustrating in a way because, you know, sometimes the formulas are what actually make you not want to play. I don't really like playing Ashlands when I see people immediately calling in dropships and going up to that high point, because it's a bit tryhardy. And I know that's very rich coming from me, but you don't see me doing it. You don't see me, I mean, even on like some of the maps with the towers, you know, the very, very large towers with the slanted roofs, I don't go up there and drop spawn pads. I mean, we may do it once in a blue moon, but we generally don't. And that's the thing. I would honestly say the team that we run with, you know, the kind of the masters of the universe as we are collectively known, you know, and let's face it, we earned that title, bros. I think we do have a very kind of good attitude to the game because we don't really like doing this kind of thing. We don't generally spawn camp as well. I mean, we may do it if there's still a risk of them coming through it, but it's rare we really do it as a YOLO tactic. So yeah, to be honest, you know, I find that The vast majority of the games we play, we just want to have a good fight, and I think the majority of the time we do find that most people in the game are also looking for a fun fight. So these guys, God bless them, because they really are absolutely playing a good game. So there's no real kind of fit of the month generally. I mean, there is a few, but there's not really anything bad. To be honest, I think the reality is that there's still a lot of very decent players playing this game, but it's maybe the tryhards that are ruining it a little bit, because these are the guys that will, you know, just go and get that dropship and take it up to the top of Ashlands. These are the guys that will, you know, just drop you. They'll drop spawn pads anywhere they can. They'll drop any tactic. They'll drop any, you know, they'll run rail rifles and heavy suits. They'll run just, you know, modded controllers. These are the guys that, you know, we see rarely, but when you do see them, you feel their impact quite significantly, which can be very disappointing. But there we go. I think this map is a great example. So look at that. We've completely stomped them off the ridge, and this is where I think, again, the power of what we do is just real shock and awe. So, I mean, we're all running, I mean, most of us are running plasma cannons and comedy fits. And they're running pretty serious fits, but the difference is that we are aggressive. Look at this. They're in a pretty advantageous position there, but look at the aggression that I have here when I'm playing this game. I won't suffer the puppy to live. I will go and attack them wherever they be. And that is, again, partly, I think, why I'm like I am. It was certainly something that I think Eve is very akin to. Is you know, being aggressive is actually part of the battle. Because if you can make them flinch and retreat, then you've won. Already you've won. And look at this heavy here. He's just, you know, he's absolutely shitting himself, and he doesn't know what to do, and he's just got completely dominated. And that is because a scout is right in his face with a FLAYLOCK and a plasma cannon, and that terrifies people. And I think this is part of the whole process. Is half the battle is mental. I mean, if you can beat them from the very start by the attack, then you're looking pretty good. Look at this melee kill. Nice. Oh, but I think, yeah, I mean, I'd love to study the psychology of this, because I think a lot of the time, you know, people, if they're scared of you, or if they're terrified of the fit you're running, then half the battle's won and they're already losing, and I think that's quite a powerful thing. Look at this, boom, dead. Love this plasma cannon, I really do. I'm actually trying the prototype one in this round as well. I do go back to the KLA, weirdly enough. I've got to admit, I'm not that mad about the KLA, the Allotech, to be honest. I think it's because I'm not using the plasma cannon as a primary weapon. I'm using it as a shield killer. And once it's killed the shields, then I'm up and away, to be honest. So I think, to be honest, I think I use it for a couple of videos, rounds, so you'll see it in a few videos, but then we do go back to the KLA, which is only the advanced, but then again, it's just as good, to be honest with you. There we go. They're back on the ridge, so here we go. We now have to defend against some pretty long-range rail rifle bollocks. Look at that, Calachiota rail rifles. Those guns are broken. Seriously, dudes, they are massively broken. But then again, don't care, to be honest. I think rail rifles and combat rifles and assault rifles and scrambler rifles, they've always been broken. I think they're not the guns that the real top players will use in this game. Ooh, that was a trolly comment, wasn't it? It's true though. I think, to be honest, anybody can use the Imperial scrambler rifle and with a controller and get kills with it. Anyone. But not everybody could run a plasma cannon, not everyone could run a FLAYLOCK, not everyone could run a shotgun, not everyone could run a heavy machine gun. You know, these are kind of guns that have a bit more, I guess, hook to them. So that guy there using a scrambler pistol, aim assist, it's just all it is. Aim assist, you know, assisted aiming bollocks. And quite frankly, it just shows a very poor player, to be honest with you, if they use those kind of things. People will naturally now bring out the mouse and keyboard argument. Yeah, it's fair comment, fair argument, but again, it doesn't have aim assist, so you know you're not going to find a combat rifle, assault rifle, scrambler rifle, rail rifle using mouse and keyboarder. Really, generally, you might find one or two, but it would be stupid to use those guns with the mouse and keyboard, considering the aim assist is so good. You would find those people using shotguns. You would find them using other kind of guns. So, you know, definitely worth considering from that point of view. Myself, I think the reason I quite like the plasma cannon and the FLAYLOCK is obvious. It's because I use mouse and keyboard. So, the aiming of it is a lot easier. It's a lot quicker because you're not actually having to kind of, fight a resistance button to say go left, go right, go up, go down. But then again, you'll have moments like that where, to be honest, look, every single shot is connecting with me pretty much. It's only lucky that somebody else killed him. So very, very frustrating. I find aim assist is a bit bollocky, to be honest. I think when Legion comes and obviously aim assist disappears forever, I think we'll see who are the good players of this game and who was using aim assist to benefit. And I think that's going to be a glorious, glorious day, because I think quite a lot of the quote good players of this game just know aim assist so well that if they aim roughly in the right direction, the computer will do the rest for them. And I think they're in for a bit of a shock when aim assist goes into Legion. So looking forward to that, really looking forward to that. No, I'm not trolling anyone, so chill out, don't get all butthurt and preachy over this. I think, to be honest with you, you don't get aim assist in PC games, so that's the sad part of it. For those of you who are obviously going to come across the Legion, you're going to have to get used to that. But I think once you get used to the mouse and keyboard, it's just the way it is, and then you know that again you're playing a relative. Well, I was about to say you're playing a relatively skilled game from that point, but I don't mean it like that. Now there is always the issue of aimbots and wall hacks and things like that, but they're the same in every single game. And to be honest with you, people seem to think that every single game has an aimbotting wall hacker in the game. The reality is that they don't. I think in my years of playing Counter-Strike, which I played for years and years, way before cheat systems were any good, and I think I saw 1, 2, maybe 3 people using these things, and that's how rare they were, because they were so obviously using it. They were caught and they were banned, and they never came back. And that's the thing you have to bear in mind, is that people, yes, they're using it in Battlefield 4. I mean, you have to wonder why, I guess, but to be honest, the part of the reason is that they're caught. Punkbuster and GameSpy and all these, they do catch them and then they ban them and then they're gone. And that's a lot of money to waste on trying to be good in a game. Do you know what I mean? To be honest, it's such a waste of time. It really is. If Legion's free to play, though, obviously that would be something that CCP have to do, and I think CCP have not got the best track record of managing illegal third-party applications. From my years in particular EVE alliances, I remember seeing botting so rife that you would just go from system to system, and there'd be one person in each system, and you would do a scan, and it would be a Raven or a Drake, and it was literally just going from belt to belt on a bot, killing stuff. So, CCP have a really bad track record of actually sorting these things out. There we go. Lots of money, not so many kills, but quite a lot of deaths. That sucks. That's actually a really bad KD ratio for me. My KD ratio, no. But there we go. Look at that. Stefan got 36 kills. Not bad indeed. So hopefully that was a good example of a really kind of straining and strenuous match, and hopefully you enjoyed it. See you next time.